Good morning and welcome to episode 89 of the RetroBrown Solo Runs. Today we are doing a solo run with just a Weezing, second stage evolution of the Coffin line, and a pure poison type Pokemon in Gen 1, where poison type moves are not very good apart from, well, I would only say Toxic's really a good move. But let's get started. Base stat total, we have 490 total. The majority of that's in our defense at a whopping 120, which is... I never knew that Weezing had such a high defense. I never really used it. And the rest of it's in attack, special. It's quite a decent Pokemon in all honesty. Our rival for today is the best. I can't remember what other numbers came after his name, but our rival today apparently is the best, so let's see if that is very true. Thank you for subscribing and welcome to the channel. Let's get started. So we start off with 3 moves, and one of them is the perfect move that we really need for a poison type Pokemon, and that is Sludge. Sludge is 65 base power, most powerful poison type move in Gen 1. Yeah, Gen 1's weird. We're going to name our Weezing James as a homage to Team Rocket. But yeah, we start off with Tackle, Smoke and Sludge, and Sludge is really the main one that we use. We're going to give the rival a Bulbasaur because that means that then we don't have any super effective moves apart from maybe Fire Blast in the late game. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to use that or not. So let's get started. We beat the rival very, very quickly. And going into Viridian Forest, we strangely have a kind of an annoying time against all the bug trainers. But considering Brock is our very first gym leader fight to go against, we're going to need the level. So we are going to go against all the trainers and even backtrack all the way to Viridian so we can go against the rival again once we've got a few more levels. Because pretty much, Poison type was resisted by Rock, meaning with it being our best move, we do want to use it, but it's not going to do very, very much. Tackle won't do very much either, but with Sludge comes also the chance to poison. So we do want to get our levels up a bit so we have a bit more to work with. So we're going to go against the junior trainer as well. Now pretty much as soon as we can get Sludge and Poison set up, the fight becomes quite easy. They can't do too much damage to us with our whopping 120 base defense. I'm still amazed at that. Like, it's a gas cloud, how come his defense is that high? That makes no sense to me. Either way, we beat out the junior trainer on the very first try. And you know, I'm going to give Brock a try while we're here. But while we're having to go against Brock, because this is going to be a very hard fight, it's going to be a very long drawn out fight, let's talk about our TM moveset. Regardless of what we get in Gen 1, we don't have much to work with. We only get, what? Sludge, Smokescreen, Self-Destruct, Haze, Explosion, Tackle and Smog on our level up moveset. Self-Destruct and Explosion, completely useless for us in Gen 1. Especially in a solo run. Because if we take ourselves out, then what is the point? Like, we've already lost that attempt. But on our TM moveset, we get quite a nice range. We get Toxic, we get Hyper Beam, we get Thunderbolt, Thunder, Mimic, Fire Blast. Yeah, we actually get some decent, powerful moves to use, which can take advantage of that special that we have. Ideally though, we want physical type moves because we do have slightly better attack than we do special, but you know what? I'm actually quite stoked for how good the stats are for Weezing. I never thought it was this good. Either way, let's go back into another Brock fight now we've beaten the rival again on the west of Viridian. We really need to get as many poisons on this Geodude as soon as possible because that poison damage is going to be what helps us get through this fight. So we want to make sure that we can poison him pretty much every single turn. We only have like 10 to 20% chance to poison, I think it is. It might be 30%, I'm not 100% sure. Either way, we get down to quite low HP and we're finally onto the Onix. Now ideally, we need to do the same here where we poison it and he uses his full heals up. We don't want to use all of our Sludges here because, well, we lose here. We need a few more levels. When we can poison him enough and he uses all of his full heals out, that's when the fight turns in our favour. As soon, and because he wastes a turn using full heals as well, meaning after that, the poison damage will just take him out. And we've got to keep our HP up for all of that time and make sure we don't get attacked very often. The Geodude is a big problem with this. We want it to only be using Defense Curl, but annoyingly it does get a few tackles in. But on this attempt we also get very, very lucky. We get rid of all of the full heals and the poison damage takes it out, leading us into the Onix. Now he does go for a bide straight away. After this we are going to use Smog because it's got less accuracy meaning it's got less chance to hit and less chance for Bite to build up, which is actually working in our favour that it's got less accuracy for once. Annoyingly, it does hit quite a lot when we get rid of all of his full heals eventually. And from there, we can just use Smog. It doesn't do very much damage, meaning Bite won't do much in return. But the poison damage is just accumulating, and it's only a matter of time before Onyx will fall. It's actually weird to say that we wanted a move that misses quite a lot, and when we finally take it down with 3 HP left, Weezing has beat Brock at the level cap, which I'm very happy about. Now it's going to be a while till we get our next TM move. It's going to be all the way at Lieutenant Surge, so we're going to have to deal with Misty with just Sludge. Now it's very good that Hastami does not have a psychic type move, because otherwise we would be completely screwed here. Sludge is a powerful move, and it's just whittling her down, and at level 18 going into 19 we take the Cascade badge. If she had used Bubble Beam more times, then yeah, we would have really lost that very quickly. But thankfully, she went for tackles a lot more times, meaning we get the win. This brings us on to the best on the Nugget Bridge, and as long as we can take down the Pidgeotto quite quickly, this should work in our favour to get an easy win. Sludge is a very powerful move that takes advantage of our 90 base attack, and even against the Bulbasaur, which is resisted to... Well, it's not resisted because it's got the grass type, so it's neutral to poison types as far as I'm aware. Yeah, we actually get a first time win. And that brings us to the SSN. Now, I'm very sad that we can't learn Body Slam here. But, yeah, we just need to get through the SSN so we can get through to Surge. So as soon as we beat Surge, as I said, we can pick up Thunderbolt, and we got our 4th move to work with, because we're not going to learn any other moves until level 39, where we can learn Smokescreen. Now, Smokescreen works pretty much the same as Sand Attack, so it's a move that we actually do want if we're going to cheese it. But that only comes to level 39, so we're going to be around about Sylph Core going into Corgros Sabrina level by the time we get that. So for the time being, we're going to have to work with Thunderbolt. We can pick up Hyper Beam over in Celadon, but it means we're going to have to go to the game corner. Other than that, we don't have too much else to work with for the time being. When it comes to the Raichu, yeah, I should have gone into this with more PP, but we do take a loss. Sludge's got 2 PP to work with here, so we're going to have to rely on Tackle, otherwise I'm going to have to use one of my Ethers up. And I don't really like using my Ethers up, I usually save them for the Elite Four so we can do all those fights in one. But we take down the Voltorb with just Tackles, meaning we can get a Sludge in on the Pikachu and on the Raichu, and we get poisoned, which gives us the win. So we're doing pretty well right now. We pick up Thunderbolt, and now we have a big problem, which is the Exploding Hiker. For the first time in a while, he's got the type advantage, and ideally we do not want to get hit by Self-Destruct because that's how much damage it does to us. And yeah, we are going to take a loss here. When we eventually do make it through Rock Tunnel though, we bring ourselves to the rival in Lavender Tower. Now 2 of his Pokemon are weak to Thunder, well, electric type moves, which gives us 2 easy quick wins. Kadabra has got very bad defense, so Sludge is a perfect move to use against it, and Sludge will take out the Bulbasaur, well, the Ivysaur in 2 Sludges. So we're actually doing alright, but this brings us on to Celadon, where we can pick up our next powerful move. And yes, it is going to be Hyper Beam, but that means we need to go and get some coins. And I'm not going to cheese it, I actually did spend the time getting it, and I must have had very good luck because we did not spend very much time getting the coins that we needed. Like, sometimes you have great luck in the casino, other times you don't. Today we had very good luck, and we had enough coins to get Hyper Beam very quickly. So, with Hyper Beam on the roster, which move do we get rid of? Well, it's going to be Smog because it's outlived its usefulness. We want to be hitting, we want to be doing damage. This brings us to Erica. Now, if we can one-shot KO her Pokemon, Hyper Beam will be the best move here. Unfortunately, it's not enough to take them down, but because we're a Poison-type Pokemon, they will not use their Grass-type moves against us. The Victory Bell, the Tangela, they're all just going to use normal-type moves until we get to the Vileplume. Now, because the Vileplume doesn't have any normal-type moves, it only has Grass-type moves, we're going to get put to sleep, and Petal Dance will do quite a lot of damage to us until we wake up. Annoyingly, we do get taken down by the Vileplume, and to us, this is one of the fights that I thought we would win first time. But pretty much, that came down to Sleep Powder. We need to get rid of that move. I'm going to use Sludge on the Victory Bell again because it's still a very good move, and arguably did a bit more with Stab than the Hyper Beam did. We're down 61 HP going into the Tangela, At level 30, we're still not taking out a Tangler in one hit. File Plume is next, we're going to set up the Sludges, but annoyingly Petal Dance gets set up again, and we just got to hope for a bit better with Confusion luck. Hyper Beam came through, this is why we wanted it. So we can also pick up the TM for Mega Drain, which we can't learn unfortunately. It would actually make kind of a bit of sense if we did learn Mega Drain, because poison types, like leech life in a way, I don't know. There seems to be something there. Against Giovanni, we start to see where we're going to have problems in this run. His Rock-type Pokemon are resistant, and we don't have any moves that can really work around that. Ideally, what we need to do is let the poison work its magic, but we need to go into this with full HP. So, Sludge is still going to be one of our best moves to use here. We want to get that poison done, and then the best case scenario happens where he locks himself into Rage. So he doesn't do very much damage against us, the Rhyhorn comes out and gets poisoned straight away, meaning it's only a matter of time before it goes down. Its Horn attacks are not doing all too much against us, and we can take it down at half HP going into the Kangaskhan. Now I'm going to go for... Wow, Comet Punch did a lot of damage. Wow, he goes for Guard Spec, giving us the win. He threw the fight at the very penultimate point. You know what? Instead of going over to Silph Core, I'm going to go straight over to Koga, because I want to pick up the TM for Toxic, just in case we need it. And we can also get a few more levels over here, and we don't have a great matchup against Sabrina. So going over to Koga now is the best thing we can do. He sends out his Coffin first, and it is Coffin v Weezing, but we're the better evolution, and we take it down. Muck has got quite good defences, meaning our Thunderbolts aren't doing very much, but we get the Paralysis in and take it down after a canny few Thunderbolts. That brings out the second Coffin, who will go down to 2 more Thunderbolts, and last up is Weezing, and he goes for a self-destruct. He threw the fight and gave us the badge. That brings us on to Silph Core, because we've got nowhere else we can really go now. We could surf over the Cinnabar, but that means we're going to lose some time elsewhere. We finally picked up Smokescreen, which will be very, very helpful. But its first 2 Pokemon are not going to need that on. We really want to be using it on the likes of the Alakazam, which gets us down to 9 HP. Wow. Okay, so we need to be setting up the Smokescreens here against the Venusaur, but it's just too little too late. We didn't have enough HP to work with, so we need to give this another try. So, Thunderbolt is best thing to use against Pidgeot, best thing to use against Gyarados because it's 4 times weak. Growlithe, we're going to go for the Hyper Beam, get the 1-hit KO, and same against the Alakazam, we want it done as soon as possible. So next we're going to use Sludge, and we can evade Leech Seed. Can poison types evade Leech Seed? I need to get that double checked. We go into Giovanni, and we've got clocked in a time of 3 hours at Silph Core. We're about 2/3 of the way through the game right now, so it's kind of a bit slower than I was hoping for with Weezing, but a lot of these fights we aren't taking them out in one hit, and of course with all the rock types, we're struggling a lot against them. This is why it might have been worth our time getting Fire Blast before even coming to Silph Core, because at least with Fire type, it's a special type move, and will still hit through their defences that way. The Nidoqueen goes down to 2 Hyper Beams, and we win Silph Core. Meaning, you know what, I'm going to skip Sabrina and go and get Fire Blast, because we might need it. Let's go beat Blaine and get that TM. So Sludge will take out the Growlithe and nearly the Ponyta in 1 hit each. Rapidash comes out next, it's about half damage. We poison it, giving us a little bit of chip, meaning a second Sludge will take it down. Level 46 going into the Arcanine, and pretty much we want to make sure we take it down before Fire Blast. Oh, Burn takes us out, wow. Cheesy. Okay, Hyper Beam actually turned out to be the better strategy to be using. It took out all of his Pokemon in 1 hit apart from the Arcanine, which is why we switched to Sludge. Once we've trickled it down a little bit and we don't get burned this time, Sludge gives us the win. We pick up Fire Blast, and we might still teach it, I'm not too sure yet. There's not many other Pokemon that need Fire type super effectiveness to win. And strangely, I don't know why I was so worried about going against Sabrina, because she turned out to be extremely easy. The worst thing was that the Alakazam set up a Reflect before I used Hyper Beam, but then decided not to use Confusion, Psybeam, or Psychic. It went for Psywave. which means it does barely any damage. It's an awful move. We take up the 7th badge, and we bring ourselves onto the hardest gym leader for us, which of course is Giovanni, the 8th gym leader. And as long as we don't take too much damage from his first Pokemon, we should be okay-ish. We've got 76 HP to work with here, and a super effective dig nearly takes us out. We've not really got too much to work with here, and I'm starting to struggle with what my options are. We might need to get rid of Smokescreen for Mimic. That might be the play here, because I've used it in many other runs, so getting rid of the Rhyhorn is the first task. Once we can take... Actually, I had Smokescreen on my moveset. I don't know why I didn't use it, if I'm being honest. That would make sure we don't take too many attacks, and from there we can take it down and end up with more HP to work with when we go into the Dugtrio. So, Dugtrio will go down to 1 Hyper Beam. At level 50 we outspeed it, which is good. I wasn't expecting that, but the big problem comes now with Nidoking and Nidoqueen because they resist our Sludges. We set up the Smokescreens to give ourselves a little bit more to work with, but Horn Attack does connect. Rhydon is last, and we're going to set up the Smokescreens here so they cannot hit us whatsoever. We get it poisoned, and we're just going to let the poison take its time to take it down because we are running out of PP. Even on Hyper Beam, we are running out of PP. And yeah, all we've got to work with is Thunderbolt, so it has to be poison that takes it out. So as long as he doesn't hit us, we will win this fight. And finally, the poison does its work, and we beat Giovanni at level 51. A little bit higher than I was expecting to win this fight at, but with the tight disadvantage that we had, yeah, you know what? I'm still quite happy at that. This is why it's taken quite a long time to get through this run, because we're having to rely on poison every now and then for the likes of these top rock type Pokemon. I've kept Smokescreen as long as we have because you know what? It's actually a really good move. It's as good as Sand Attack and gives you the opportunities to actually get your hits in, to set up how you need to. Oh, there's another thing I forgot to mention. We actually have no way to badge boost our Weezing. Unless we decided to use Mimic and get likes of Agility, we actually have no way naturally to be able to badge boost glitch with this Pokemon. So yeah, as I said in the last video, I'll try and do as many runs as I can without the badge boost glitch. And here we are, we're doing one with a Weezing with no badge boost glitch right now. All the way up to Lorelei, where, you know what, we should have an okay matchup apart from the likes of the Jinx. Because majority of our Pokemon have Rest or Psychic type moves, meaning that is all they will use. Cloyster is very weak to special type moves, so 2 Thunderbolts take it down. Slowbro will get hit by 2 Thunderbolts to take down, and then Jinx. This is the one I was most worried about, and one of the reasons why we picked up Hyper Beam. It doesn't have great defenses, meaning Hyper Beam will take it down quite easily. Lapras puts itself into healing range, and from there we take a first time win against Lorelei, which doesn't happen all too often on my channel, I'll be completely honest with you guys. This brings us on to Bruno, and here I was actually expecting to get a loss here. I was genuinely expecting to have a loss. I'm going to set up our Smokescreens, and from there we'll try and get the poison to take it down. We don't want to use Sludge all too many times. There we go. We don't need to use it all too many more times, because we need to conserve some PP for the second Onix. We're not using Mimic here, which means we can't get Ice Punch from the Hitmonchan. And from there, Sludge will just do its work. We're going to waste a few more rounds of Smokescreen and just let the poison take its time. Next up is the Hitmonchan, who doesn't go down to 1 Hyper Beam. I'm surprised at that. So we're going to go for Thunderbolt instead, and that brings us through to the second Onix. Now here is where we need to make sure we get the poison. If we don't get the poison, then we pretty much will not win this unless Hyper Beam decides to do some crazy strats. So, we don't get the Sludge on the poison on the first 2 times, we don't get on the third, and he has stuck himself into Rage. But for some reason, it's not hitting us. Oh yeah, because of Smokescreen, that's why he's not hitting us, but his attack just keeps on growing. We've managed to get the poison off, and from here, we just need to worry about the Machamp. One thing we do need to worry about is the fact we don't have much PP left. So we got 4 PP left on Hyper Beam to work with, 3 after we missed, and a second Hyper Beam takes him down. That was honestly very, very close, and that came down to the fact that it was PP stalling us out, and we'd have to rely on struggle after that. Thankfully, we can bring ourselves onto Agatha. Now, this is not a good matchup for us. If we get put to sleep, then Dream Eater does massive damage with it being a psychic type move at 100 base power. We want to make sure we don't get put to sleep and we can just chip away at them, because we won't be able to poison a Pokemon. Mostly, she's a poison type trainer in all honesty. Nightshade will come out randomly as well, which means we are going to take random damage every now and then. And this is where I decided we do need to use Mimic, because the power of sleep will it's better than the power of poison in this fight. And we're not badge boost glitching still, so we're actually still keeping to that no badge boost glitching promise that I made. And from here, as long as we can get him to sleep with Hypnosis, we can use Hyper Beam on the Pokemon that can be hit by normal type moves. And other than that, we just need to chip away at a Pokemon as much as we can. Sludge does good damage against the Golbat. And from here, we need to keep as much Thunderbolt PP to take out the Ghost type Pokemon, which is not going to do too much because they do have decent special, and we don't have as good as theirs. Worst thing there, we got hit by a Nightshade, and there's still one more Pokemon left after the Haunter, well 2 including the Arbok, which will go down pretty easily. That Gengar has Nightshade. Now, if we get hit by a Nightshade, we're done. We need to get it to sleep, which we do on the first time, which means we can start Thunderbolting it down. And then we run out of Thunderbolt, meaning we have to rely on Sludge. Oh, wow. So yeah, Sludge is the reason we get through this fight. We need to get it back to sleep, and from there Sludge will do its work. Finally, we beat Agatha. That took quite a few tries, like maybe 4 or 5 tries to get past her. This brings us on to Lance. Now, for his very first Pokemon, we actually have a decent matchup. Actually, this should be our easiest Elite Four member, full stop. Gyarados is 4 times weak to electric type moves. His Dragonairs and his Dragonites have got... You know, we are going to badge boost a little bit here. I'll only do it for this fight, I promise. Yeah, his Dragonairs and his Dragonites have got Psychic type moves, meaning that's all they will use. So we can sludge our way through them quite easily. But the major problem is going to be that Aerodactyl. If we get hit by... we don't have to worry, because he takes down with 1 Thunderbolt. And he uses his Hyper Potion up, meaning we've got to get back into sludging him down. From there, Thunderbolts will take it down, and we've got quite an easy win against Lance. That is easily the easiest Elite Four member that we've gone against here. That brings us on to the champion. And our level 60 Weezing is going against a full team where every single Pokemon is stronger than it. Let's see how we do. Now, ideally, you would have thought trying to get recover off the Alakazam would be the best play. Psychic does a massive amount of damage to us, and this is actually where I realised that I probably should have got it, or I should have mimicked Psychic. Either way, we're now not going to do very well, and probably the first time on this channel, we might lose to the Rhydon. Yeah, it's been a long time, and I don't know if I've ever actually lost to this Rhydon, but yeah, we tried to go for the Hornrill Strat, it didn't work, meaning the best got to win in. We need to Thunderbolt that Pidgeot down before it gets a Sky Attack in, but unfortunately those were on quite low HP going into this Alakazam, and yeah, we're going to go for Recover this time. We need to keep that HP up, and from there we can Hyper Beam it down, or Sludge it, or Sludge takes it out in one with a crit, and it just means that we've got to do the slog against the Rhydon. As soon as we can get the poison set up, we should be alright considering we can actually recover our HP this time round. This time round, it goes for a lot of Leers and Tail Whips, meaning our defense is a lot lower. A physical type move will do a lot more damage on us now, but what it's also doing... Oh, you jammy thing! Using a full restore on your Rhydon, that is so jammy. That is the worst Pokemon that he could have used his full restore on. That is really annoying. Oh, it's a good thing we have Recover, even though Fury attacks are now doing so much damage. Anyway, as I was saying, the fact that he's lowering our defense actually makes the badge boost glitch come into effect. all of our other attacks are now doing more damage, but our defense is very, very low. This actually works into our favour. So the Arcanine is next, and we're going to use Hyper Beam on it. It's not a one-shot KO, which is very annoying, but Sludge will do very big damage with a crit. That brings us through to the final Pokemon, the Venusaur. And we're going to use Sludge to start off with. It goes for a Solar Beam, which we can resist. So we can go for a Hyper Beam next. Razor Leaf is not going to do too much either, but he goes for a Growth. And a final Hyper Beam gives us the win. James has beat the Elite Four. He's beat the best, like no one ever was, and become the Pokemon League champion. Let's see what time we finished on, because I don't think this is as quick as I thought it might be. Level 61, which is a decent level, and we finished on 4 hours 19 minutes. You know what? Strangely, Parasect was quicker. The previous video where we did a Parasect run, that was quicker than a Weezing. I didn't think that would be the case, but either way, quite happy with the result. Let's choose the next Pokemon that we will do a solo run with. And we've nearly, wow, we've got maybe about 60-ish Pokemon left here. First up is Clefable. That has come up quite a few times on the wheel recently, and it's a very good Pokemon. Clefairy did so well. Next up is Psyduck. Oh wow, I've not done anything from that line for a while. Why do I feel like this is going to be the worst Pokemon on choice? Dragonair third, yeah. We're going to go with Psyduck. It's going to be the worst Pokemon out of these three to do a run with. Let's see how we do. If you got to this point in the video, guys, you know what you need to do. Press that like and subscribe. It really helps out with the channel, you legends. And we will see you next week with a Psyduck only solo run. Take care.